I've spent over 40 years studying human behavior, and I've discovered something fascinating that most people never realize. The majority of people wake up every morning, look in the mirror, and see the same person they saw yesterday, living the same life, facing the same struggles, and they wonder why nothing changes. They work hard, they put in the hours, they follow the rules, yet somehow they remain stuck in the same financial situation, the same relationships, the same level of fulfillment. And here's what breaks my heart. They genuinely believe they're doing everything right. They point to external circumstances and say, "Jim, it's the economy," or "Jim, it's my boss," or "Jim, I wasn't born into the right family." But I'm here to tell you something that might disturb you at first, but will ultimately set you free. The reason you're not where you want to be has nothing to do with the economy, your background, or your current circumstances. It has everything to do with 7 specific habits that you're practicing every single day without even knowing it. These habits are so subtle, so ingrained in your daily routine, that they've become invisible to you. They're like chains you've worn for so long that you've forgotten they're there. But today, right now, I'm going to help you see them clearly, and more importantly, I'm going to show you exactly how to break them. Because until you do, you'll keep getting what you've always gotten and wondering why life seems to work for others but not for you. Before we continue, I want to invite you to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications, because here we share ideas that can transform your life every single day. Give this video a like if it's already making you think, and tell me in the comments which part of this message resonates most with you. Your voice matters, and together we can grow with more clarity and purpose. Let me share something profound with you that changed my entire life when I finally understood it. The real poverty isn't in your bank account, it's in your daily habits. You see, I used to think that if I just worked harder, if I just put in more hours, if I just found the right opportunity, everything would change. But here's what I discovered after years of frustration and studying the truly successful. Your outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner world, and your inner world is shaped entirely by your daily habits. Think about this for a moment. Every morning, you have a choice. You can either feed your mind with growth, inspiration, and new ideas, or you can let it feast on the mental junk food of complaints, excuses, and distractions. Most people choose the junk food without even realizing they're making a choice. They wake up, immediately check their phone for problems, rush through their morning, and never take a single moment to program their mind for success. And then they wonder why success seems so elusive. I'm telling you, the moment I started treating my mind like a garden that needed daily cultivation, everything shifted. The opportunities that seemed hidden before suddenly became visible. The solutions to problems that plagued me for years suddenly became obvious. The relationships that drained me were replaced by ones that energized me. It wasn't magic. It was simply the natural result of changing my daily mental diet. You don't need a new job, a new degree, or a new opportunity. You need new habits. And the beautiful thing is, you can start changing them today, right now, in this very moment. Here's the phrase I want you to remember, write down, and repeat to yourself every single day. Your habits are either making you or breaking you, and there's no in-between. There's no neutral ground when it comes to habits. Every single action you take, every thought you entertain, every minute you spend, is either moving you toward wealth and fulfillment, or toward poverty and frustration. And I'm not just talking about financial wealth here. I'm talking about wealth in every area of your life. Rich relationships, rich experiences, rich contributions to the world. You see, I discovered that there are 7 specific habits that virtually guarantee you'll stay poor, and most people practice at least 5 of them every single day. The first is the habit of excuse-making. The second is the habit of consuming instead of creating. The third is the habit of associating with small thinkers. The fourth is the habit of immediate gratification. The fifth is the habit of neglecting personal development. The sixth is the habit of poor time management. And the seventh, perhaps the most destructive, is the habit of playing it safe. Now, I know what you're thinking. Jim, I don't do all of those things. But let me ask you this. When was the last time you invested in a book, a course, or a mentor? When was the last time you said no to entertainment and yes to education? When was the last time you spent an entire evening planning your future instead of escaping from your present? These habits are so subtle that they hide in plain sight, disguised as normal behavior, accepted by society, even encouraged by those around you. Let me show you how these 7 habits poison every area of your life, because once you see the full picture, you'll never be able to unsee it. Take your finances, for example. The habit of excuse-making tells you that rich people are lucky or dishonest, so you never study wealth creation. The habit of consuming instead of creating has you buying things to feel successful instead of building things that make you successful. You spend money, you don't have to buy things, you don't need to impress people you don't even like. Now look at your relationships. The habit of associating with small thinkers surrounds you with people who validate your excuses instead of challenging your potential. They tell you it's okay to be average, that your dreams are unrealistic, that you should be satisfied with less. And because misery loves company, you find comfort in their limitation. Consider your time, your most valuable asset. The habit of poor time management has you spending hours on activities that don't move you forward. You know the value of everything except your time. You'll drive across town to save $5 on something, but you'll waste 5 hours watching television without a second thought. That's poverty thinking. Look at your emotional state. The habit of immediate gratification has you choosing temporary pleasure over lasting fulfillment. You eat the wrong foods, skip the workout, avoid the difficult conversation, procrastinate on the important project, all because you're addicted to comfort. But comfort is the enemy of progress. And your sense of purpose? The habit of playing it safe has you living someone else's life, following someone else's plan, pursuing someone else's dreams. Now, let me paint you 2 pictures and you tell me which one looks familiar. Person A wakes up at 5 a.m., not because they have to, but because they want those quiet hours to invest in themselves. They read for 30 minutes, exercise for 30 minutes, and plan their day for 30 minutes. They've already won the day before most people even open their eyes. Person B hits the snooze button 3 times, rushes to get ready, grabs a coffee, and arrives at work already stressed, already behind, already defeated. Person A turns their commute into a university on wheels, listening to audiobooks, podcasts, taking mental notes, constantly learning. Person B listens to the same music, the same talk radio, the same complaints about traffic, learning nothing, growing nowhere. When person A faces a setback, they ask, "What can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? What opportunity is hidden in this problem?" When person B faces the same setback, they ask, "Why does this always happen to me? Who can I blame for this? When will I catch a break?" At the end of 5 years, person A has read 100 books, built new skills, expanded their network, increased their income, and created opportunities that didn't exist before. Person B is in the exact same place, maybe even worse off, still waiting for things to change, still believing that success is about luck. Here's what's crucial to understand. Person A and person B started with the same 24 hours, the same economy, maybe even the same job. The only difference was their habits. One built habits that compound into wealth, the other maintained habits that guarantee poverty. Right now, in this very moment, you're standing at a crossroads, and I need you to understand the weight of this decision. You can either close this message, go back to your routine, and continue practicing the 7 habits that keep you poor, or you can make a commitment that changes everything. And I mean a real commitment, not a wish, not a hope, not a "I'll try." I'm talking about a decision so firm that it reshapes your identity. You see, most people are waiting for the perfect moment to change. They're waiting for Monday, for New Year's, for when they have more money, for when they have more time. But let me tell you something I learned the hard way. The perfect moment is a myth. The only moment you have is this one. Tomorrow isn't promised and yesterday is gone. All you have is today, and today is enough if you decide it is. I want you to choose one habit, just one, and break it today. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. If you've been making excuses, I want you to take responsibility for one thing today. If you've been consuming, I want you to create something today. If you've been surrounding yourself with negative people, I want you to reach out to someone who inspires you today. This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. This isn't about changing everything, it's about changing something. Because here's what I know after decades of studying success. The hardest part isn't the work, it's the decision. Once you truly decide, once you commit with every fiber of your being, the how reveals itself. The resources appear, the strength emerges. But you have to decide first. Let me ask you some questions that might make you uncomfortable, but discomfort is where growth lives. How many books did you read last year? If you're like most people, the answer is less than one. Yet you probably watched hundreds of hours of television. You chose entertainment over education, distraction over development. How much did you invest in yourself last year? I'm not talking about clothes or gadgets. I'm talking about courses, seminars, coaching, anything that makes you more valuable. If you spent more on your cable bill than on your personal growth, you're practicing poverty habits. Who are the 5 people you spend the most time with? Write down their names right now. Are they where you want to be? Are they going where you want to go? If not, you're letting their limitations become your limitations. Here's a practical example that will hit home. Let's say you waste just 2 hours a day on social media, on television, on activities that don't serve your goals. That's 14 hours a week, 60 hours a month, 720 hours a year. That's 18 work weeks. 18 weeks. You're literally wasting a part-time job's worth of time every year. Now imagine if you invested those same 2 hours in learning a new skill, building a side business, strengthening your relationships, improving your health. In 1 year, you could become fluent in a new language, master a musical instrument, write a book, build a significant income stream. The time is there. It's always been there. You've just been spending it on the wrong things. And here's what really gets me. You know this is true. Deep down, you know exactly what you need to do. Now let me show you what happens when you break these 7 habits and replace them with the habits of wealth. First, your confidence explodes. When you stop making excuses and start taking responsibility, you realize you have more control than you ever imagined. You stop feeling like a victim and start feeling like a creator. Your income follows your personal development. When you invest in yourself, when you become more valuable, the marketplace has no choice but to reward you. I've seen people double, triple, even multiply their income by 10 times, not by working harder, but by becoming more valuable. Your relationships transform. When you stop associating with small thinkers and start connecting with growth-minded people, everything changes. Suddenly, you're having conversations about possibilities instead of problems, about creation instead of complaint, about the future instead of the past. Your energy shifts. When you break the habit of immediate gratification and start playing the long game, you feel different. You wake up, excited instead of exhausted. You have clarity instead of confusion. You have purpose instead of just passing time. Your legacy begins to form. When you stop playing it safe and start taking calculated risks, you begin building something that matters, something that lasts, something that serves others long after you're gone. You become an inspiration to your family, a leader in your community, a force for good in the world. But here's the best part. These changes compound. Success builds on success. Confidence creates more confidence. One good habit makes the next good habit easier. It's like pushing a boulder up a hill. Incredibly hard at first, but once you reach the peak, momentum takes over. I need you to understand something with absolute clarity. Time is not on your side. Every day you wait to break these habits is a day you can't get back. The cost of inaction isn't staying where you are. It's falling further behind. While you're standing still, the world is moving. Forward. While you're making excuses, others are making progress. While you're waiting for the perfect moment, others are creating their perfect life with imperfect action. But here's the beautiful truth. You're one decision away from a completely different life. Not 1 year away, not 1 month away, one decision away. The decision to finally say enough is enough. The decision to stop tolerating mediocrity. The decision to become the person you know you're capable of becoming. I've seen 70-year-olds completely transform their lives by breaking these habits. I've seen single mothers with 3 jobs find the time to build empires. I've seen high school dropouts become millionaires. Not because they were special, but because they decided to stop practicing poverty and start practicing prosperity. You have greatness within you. You have potential that's waiting to be unleashed. You have gifts that the world needs. But none of it matters if you keep feeding the 7 habits that keep you poor. This is your moment of truth. This is your call to greatness. This is your invitation to join the small percentage of people who refuse to settle, who refuse to accept less than they're capable of, who refuse to let their past determine their future. Break the chains today. Not tomorrow, not someday, today. Your future self is counting on the decision you make right now. Don't let them down. The time for excuses is over. The time for action is now. Welcome to your transformation. And as we wrap up, remember, this is only one step on your journey. Subscribe now and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next powerful message. If this video inspired you, hit the like button and share in the comments the very first action you'll take starting today. And don't stop here. Watch the next video on this channel, because each lesson connects and will help you keep building the life you truly deserve.